Let's switch gears. Bam, he fights next week. So what do you expect from Bam next week in that fight in Philadelphia?
Well, just put up a performance, man. You know, Bam gets motivated when he's fighting a challenge, a real challenge. That's when he performs his best. This fight wasn't what the fight that we expected. Obviously, Bam, we were scheduled to fight Gallo Estrada again, but Gallo decided to move up in weight, which is fine also. So we have to fight a mandatory. You know, that's our mandatory. Tough guy. Guevara is a tough guy. You know, he's a former champion. He's in there to do what nobody else has done, and he's also Mexican. So you know, he wants to prove that he's up there with all the best Mexicans in the world. So we're up for a challenge also. You know, Bam's training hard. He's dedicated. He's in shape. You know, next week already, next Saturday in Philadelphia.
What is the fight? Because at those lower weight classes, you know, you've been in boxing, you fought, your family's been involved, obviously. Those lower weight classes are hard to make superstars out of, right? What's the fight that gets Bam to that? Because talent-wise, he's there. But what's the fight that gets him there, that puts him over the hump? Who?
I think at 115 right now, a unification fight. You know, maybe Puma Martinez is probably the best out there, the biggest name out there. Unless in December he loses to Ioka, then against the Ioka, maybe in Japan, that's probably the biggest fight out there for Bam. But if there's nothing else, you know, Bam would love to be undisputed at the division, but we got to see if the champions are available. After that, if he doesn't, if nothing happens at 115, then it'll be 118. He's not gonna just defend his belts against nobodies, against guys that don't mean much for him. He wants to challenge himself. He does challenge himself. He wants the big challenges. So I think 118 will be our next move.
So, you know, I got to ask you, and I know it's far-fetched. They're two weight classes apart, but do you see Bam making his way up to 122 even to chase or set the stage for a fight with Inoue? Is that ever possible?
No, definitely. It's definitely possible. But Inoue, by the time Bam's at 122, I think it'll be 2 or 3 years from now. I don't know if Inoue will be at 122. He might be at 130 by that time. We never know. But if he is, those challenges, Bam wants those challenges. But Bam, that's the fights that motivate Bam. You know, if it doesn't mean nothing, he's not even gonna fight. He wants unifications. He wants challenges. And like I told you, if it's not at 115, if we wouldn't find any challenge at 115, then he's gonna go He's gonna go after the 118 pounders. And you know, there's a few good fighters at 118. But eventually at 122, maybe 2 years from now. If Inoue's still there, of course, that's a possibility.
I interviewed last week on my show, No Holds Bar, which we got to get you on. So No Holds Bar is a segment we do on FightHype. So I had the Russell brothers on. At 118, you got Gary Antonio Russell. So they're just a division away. Is that a fight that you could ever see happening? Because that's a name, right? That's a name that that could help Bam grow.
Those fights, you know what, Bam. I didn't even know about Gary, because they're all named Gary, right?
Yeah. So this is Antonio. He goes by his middle name.
I didn't even know there was only 18 pounders. so
there is.
If I tell Bam, he probably doesn't even know that either. So will it more? Does he have a title?
No, he doesn't have a title.
Then maybe he needs to get a title before that, because that's
fair enough.
Bam wants to fight big fights. He wants to fight champions. He wants to challenge himself. I know. Bam would definitely prefer fighting somebody like maybe Nakatani.
Nakatani? Yeah.
That would probably be the fight that motivates Bam instead of anybody else, because that's the biggest fight out there, and he would love to do it. You know, we'll see what Nakatani wants to do. He might move up to 122 to challenge Inoue, so we'll see. But eventually at 122, he'll probably meet both of them.
Let's go. We look forward to it. Talking about Philadelphia, Jerron Boots Ennis is headlining that card. You have a fight on Virgil Ortiz, where there's been rumors developing of them potentially fighting. Is that a fight that could happen?
Look, whenever that's brought up, yeah, it's a fight that eventually one day could happen. It's not like something that we're already working out or we're already negotiating. None of that. You know, Boots has a fight coming up next week. He's still champion at welterweight. When he moves up to 154, if he does soon, then it might be getting closer to where we could say, okay, now we're even closer, because now they're both fighting at 154. But as of right now, it's just rumors. A fight that could happen eventually, yes, because we're just one division away. Woods could move up in his next fight. We don't know. So yeah, it's a possibility, but not like we're already working on it or we're already negotiating. None of that, you know. But it's a fight that we would love to, definitely.
How does it play out if it were to happen?
It's a great fight, man. Boots is a great, talented fighter, man. I know him. I know his dad. Great people. But you know, man, at that stage, everybody wins, bro.
There you go. How about Virgil Crawford? They're in the same division.
Yeah, definitely.
Crawford needs an opponent.
Oh yeah, no, look, Crawford's a smart man. He already accomplished. He already did a lot. He doesn't need to challenge himself. He doesn't need to prove nobody anything. I've talked to him personally, and my feeling is he wants that big fight against Canelo. And if he doesn't get that, he might never fight again. He doesn't need anybody to push him to take a challenge that he doesn't need to prove anything anymore. He's already accomplished it. I don't see him, pleasing the fans just because they're telling him he needs to fight this guy, he needs to fight that guy. He's gonna go out there to look for the biggest fight in the night, enjoy his life, man. He's a very smart man. He's invested his money right. He doesn't need to fight one single time at all. But he's still looking for that big fight against Canelo, and if he gets it, he'll take it. But besides that, he might never fight again.
How does that fight go if it actually happens, Crawford Canelo?
Look, I think Crawford puts up some good rounds. I think the first 6-8 rounds would be very competitive. Crawford is game. Crawford has skills. Crawford has heart. He has a great speed, great decent power for to be able to show Canelo some respect, to get some respect from Canelo. But eventually, I think Canelo's too big, too strong. But first 6-8 rounds, I think he'll put up some really good rounds.
Gotcha.